Happy Sunday. So happy to see you all again. Shannon and Amir here.
Great to meet you.
We are very excited for tonight's session. But before we get to it,
I don't know about you. I had to take a nap before this.
Oh, you were preparing for the sleep
I was
coach?
preparing for the sleep coach, so I took a nap.
Did your homework?
I did.
I did not take a
I wanted
nap.
to come prepared.
That's awesome. People are still trickling in, so we're just going to touch on some kind of housekeeping stuff while we let people enter. Have you all been able to access the portal? Nod your head. Yes. Thumbs up. Okay, great. So everything we're hosting the next day, I'm uploading it into the portal for you. There's PDFs that accompany sometimes, but always the replay is there that the guide is providing. So 21 minutes if you want to come back and revisit it. There's also a Facebook group, which is optional because we didn't want to tie you guys into social media. But it's a really wonderful place to connect with other members in the group and share your experience, or if something maybe challenged you, or just experience community.
Yeah, good to see everybody. Excited about today's talk. Brooke and I met a couple of years ago, maybe more actually. Really awesome. Happy to do this. And this is day number 4, right? So we had self-compassion, we had brain declutter, or mind declutter, and then we had digital declutter. And today we might be able to be ready to sleep.
I'm ready to sleep. It's been a busy weekend. And I'm really excited. I met with you, Brooke, a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago now. And I was shocked at what you taught me about sleep. So Brooke Walker is one of our guides. She's also here locally in Phoenix. And she helps high achievers, executives, and professionals who often work hard and long hours. I don't know any of those, which steals from one of our most valuable resources, sleep. So this session with Brooke will give you guidance on why this is working against you. And she's going to share with us 3 ways to make sleep a habit, how to heal, be more productive, and have loads of energy. I want all of those things.
So pass me the pillow and we can start.
Well, wait, before we start, if everyone wants to check in the chat real quick on how you're feeling about tonight's talk or the last couple days, let's just take a second and then we'll pass it over to Brooke here. We'd love to hear from you guys. Okay, thanks, Brooke. Thanks, everyone.
And the floor is yours.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm very excited to be here with everybody. Excited to share about this. There's nothing more fun to me than nerding out about habits. Sleep is a habit. And it's a very important habit. I'm going to share a PowerPoint because I want you guys to understand, because I like visuals. I think they're fun. So here we go. All right, give me just a moment.
Everyone is chiming in on how napping is one of their favorite hobbies. Looking forward to tips and tricks. We have someone with insomnia, so perfect timing.
Anybody made this habit a profession? Why a side gig?
We see all your screens, Brooke.
You see all my screens, and it doesn't particularly matter, but hold on. I'm just trying to get to the starting it. I'm not the most technologically advanced person, so bear with me and I will get this right eventually.
We have a guide for that. Oh, good. So are you showing her Oh,
Yeah.
here's a comment about your hair, Brooke. Always gets so many compliments on her amazing haircut.
She was talking about my hair. Thanks, Shauna.
Do you want to tell her what
Yeah,
to do?
Brooke, you have the slideshow at the bottom right next to the
Yeah,
volume.
where is it? Why I'm
Yeah, right
so
next to the volume, right next to the left of the volume.
left of the line.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. All right. Make sleep a habit. So we're going to go through a few different things. So we're going to talk about the benefits of why you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you're not there yet, you can work up to it, but 7 to 8 hours is the sweet spot. And to be clear on that, that should at least be dedicated time in bed, and naps do help. So naps can count towards that. We're going to talk about what happens when you're not getting enough sleep. And we're also going to talk about 3 habits that are going to help you get better night of sleep, which the 3 habits that we're going to get into is your breathing, your environment, and then stress management, which is what a lot of difficulty sleeping ends up boiling down to. So the reason sleep is so important is because, and you can go through all different types of biology books, but there are 5 pillars to optimum health. What you eat, so your nourishment, what you feed yourself, rest, physical activity, so exercise, having a positive mental attitude. So they've found that the way you see your life is very important, and then having a really sound nervous system. Making sure you get enough rest and enough sleep is one thing that is going to make a huge benefit on your life, and it adds to having a sound nervous system. But you have to have all of those in play to be the best person you can be, whatever that looks like for you. So here's some reasons and benefits of sleep specifically. It's going to help you to live longer. It enhances your memory. Creativity is huge. Part of that is due to stress. When we're very stressed, our creative juices are not actually working as well as they should be. It makes you look more attractive. Beauty sleep is a real thing. I mean, I don't know that everybody's going to claim it, but I'm going to claim it. And I mean, if you look at somebody who's lacking sleep, you can tell that they look like they're lacking sleep. It keeps you slim and lowers food cravings, which I'm going to go into a little bit more. It protects you from cancer and dementia. It helps make sure that you are getting less colds and less flu. It lowers your risk of heart attacks, stroke, diabetes, and you'll actually feel happier, less depressed, and less anxious. And one thing that you guys should all know about me is I am a huge nerd. So I love to get into the science of why we do things. And I get into the science of habits and why they're beneficial for people. So all of this comes from lots of fun studying because I like it. And it benefits all of you. So what happens when you sleep? Why sleep is important, first off, we do 80% of our healing when we sleep. So whether you're an athlete, whether you're sick, and this is why it helps for sick and flu, but whether you're an athlete, not feeling well, stressed out, when you sleep, it's actually beginning to heal. So it's not just muscles and stomach and all these different things, it's also emotional stuff as well. And when you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep, you are 200 times more likely to have a heart attack or stroke. So people who get less sleep, oftentimes they have high blood pressure issues. They are more prone to diabetes or pre-diabetic, and they gain more weight. So there's more than 17,000 sleep studies out there, and these have all been scientifically reviewed multiple times. They've taken as little as 4 people, as little as small groups of young people and given them less than 6 hours of sleep. And they were pre-diabetic within 4 days.
Wow.
And they've also done studies where they've taken groups of people and they've given people who were getting 8 hours of sleep and then people who were getting less than 8 hours of sleep and put food in the room with them where they were staying. And they found that people who were lacking sleep ate anywhere up to 100 to 300 calories more per day. So that's anywhere from 10 to 30 pounds a year. So if you're regularly, chronically not getting enough sleep, it really does pack a punch.
So my daughter came home from like health class, I think last week, and she shared with me a sleep stat that I don't know if you know, but you may want to implement it in your teachings is as when men are deprived of sleep, young men, they're even with like just 2 days of less than 6 hours, their testosterone levels age 10 years, like measurably. Yeah, it was wild.
No, I didn't. I hadn't heard that one. So I'll definitely add that.
Yeah, happy to find the source.
Yeah. The way your brain processes events. So we have 2 different types of REM that we go into when we go to bed at night. When people short their sleep, they typically don't go into the second one. So it helps to process PTSD, trauma, stress, anxiety. And a lot of people link that some of the reason for our dreams is that we're actually processing that. And they found that it can be beneficial. And it's one of the things that's often lacking from people who have had PTSD or traumatic events that have happened is they're not getting enough sleep. Memory and learning. So they've taken high schools and they've extended their time that they start by just 1 hour. And it increased the entire graduating class SAT scores by 100 points on average. And there's a lot to do with circadian rhythms with teenagers and the fact that they should sleep in longer because their bodies are adjusting. Most people are not hitting that second REM, which is why we're not getting as well into our thriving stage. But the other thing is back to the creative juices. So it leads to more flourishing in life when we're getting enough sleep. Does anybody have an idea whose car?
Tiger Woods.
That's Tiger Woods' car. Or it
This
used to be
is,
Tiger Woods' car.
that's Tiger Woods' car. It was Tiger Woods' car. Yeah. So I always use this. I had been doing sleep stuff for a long time, but I always use this as an example of this is the worst case scenario. They didn't ever say that it was him falling asleep at the wheel, but all the signs from the accident were that he was asleep at the wheel. Actually, sleep deprivation is the most dangerous person we have on the road right now. It beats out drinking and it beats out texting and driving. So, and he did have a history of taking things like Ambien, one of the worst things you can take if you are having trouble sleeping. So we have this amazing sleep study that goes on every year called daylight savings time. And except for in Arizona, we don't have it. But daylight savings time, every year when it happens and we lose an hour of sleep, there's a 25% increase in heart attacks, a 25% increase in auto accidents, and 6% of them are increased in fatalities.
Why are we still doing that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the studies have a lot of proof of why it's bad. Actually, when it goes back the other way, the studies increase that those things go down as well. So, I mean, I don't know who we don't have a lot of farmers anymore. So I don't know exactly who decides to change those things. That's one of those, I don't know.
Right.
So we're going to talk about 3 new habits I want everybody to learn. And so one of them is going to be breath work. One of them is going to be a little bit about our environment, and then stress management. And again, my biggest thing is teaching habits. I don't just teach sleep habits. I teach all kinds of habits because I'm a huge believer that the little things you do have a much bigger impact than one big thing one day of your life. If I can get you to change one tiny thing today, then I'll make a bigger impact on you down the road than anything else. So this is a breathing method that I have been teaching for a while now. There's a lot of studies on breathing that we overbreathe. And so the benefit of this type of breathing is that it actually takes you out of fight or flight and gets you into a more calm state so that you're in a healing mode rather than a fight or flight mode, assuming you are in a fight or flight mode. If not, it's still going to calm you down. But the main thing that we want to know, or the main thing that it's trying to cause, is for you to be able to be calm and be present, which is a big one. And I teach this to everybody because if you're going to do it before you go to bed, I would say do it for about 10 minutes. You can also do it in the morning to calm yourself, but you should be pretty calm in the morning if you're doing everything I teach you to do for sleep. You should wake up nice and refreshed. But the other thing about this is you can do this at any time. So if you have something go on through the day and it stresses you out, you can spend 2 minutes doing this. If you are about to go into a meeting and you're stressed, you can spend 2 minutes doing this. Everybody has 2 minutes to do this before something or after something that may have been stressful to get you in a calmer state. And I do this before I ever get on these. I do it before I ever get in front of anybody because it helps me. I do it all the time. So anything important that I have coming up. So what I want you guys to know about this is a 5.5 second breath in and a 5.5 second breath out. What's important is you want to make sure that you're breathing down into your navel. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable, calm, sitting up. And if you want, you can put your hand on your navel to make sure that you're breathing down into there, because a lot of what we do is we breathe shallow and we breathe more into our chest. And you want to make sure you're breathing deeper. When you first start practicing it, it may feel like you're not quite getting enough breath. If you need to take an extra breath, that's okay. Just keep practicing. It doesn't matter where you start. It's all just practice. So we're going to do this for 2 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to time you guys. I'm going to ask you all to shut your eyes. And I'm going to time it. And I'm going to tell you when to breathe in. And I'm going to tell you when to breathe out. And I just want you to notice how you feel right now. And I want you to notice, then I'm going to have you notice how you feel after we're done with this. I know it makes you yawn just thinking about the fact that I'm going to force you to breathe a certain way. All right, so shut your eyes and take a breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale. And you're done. Breathe freely. So does anybody, if you want to share in the chat, you're more than welcome to, but if anybody wants to share how you feel now versus when we first started. And just type it in, but we're going to move through this because we got a lot of information. And that's one you guys can practice anytime, but 10 minutes before you go to bed will really help you. And I want you to think of relaxing when you do that, if you're doing it before bed. And as you do that, think of things that you're just going to let go. If there's something that stressed you out during the day, let that go. So environment. So the environment of your home, your bedroom, your lighting, the temperature is important. And think about this as what we started with as humans, and the way we used to go into sleep and our circadian rhythms. It used to be based on the sun going up and the sun going down and the temperature dropping at night. So you want to make sure you're trying to create that environment in your home as well. You should have dimmer lighting. And you want to make sure that as you're getting ready for, as you're, and think about an hour or two before bed, like dimming the lighting through your home. And your bedroom should at night be able to get as dark as possible, as dark as you can bear. Think of, I would live in a basement if I could, but I'm not the best example on that one. And it should be very cool at night. You want your body temperature to be able to drop a little bit. And then here's another one that's really important about our environment. So LEDs has been something that has been great for the environment, but unfortunately it's really bad when it comes to sleep. And there's a couple of reasons why. It's because the main thing is that it blocks your melatonin receptors. So what melatonin does is when melatonin is supposed to kick in to tell you you're tired. Melatonin doesn't help you sleep. It just helps signal your body to go to bed. So if you're blocking those receptors, your body could be dropping melatonin, or you could be taking melatonin and you're like, why is this not working? So that one of the reasons why is blue light. And blue light is in your cell phone. Blue light is in your iPad, your computer, TVs, in your lighting in your home. So it's important that as the later getting down, you have different lighting in your house that you turn on. Depends on the environment you're looking for. It could be candles, it could be lamps with different light bulbs in them. But just think about the lighting in your house, making sure that that's going down. And if you have children, I would recommend making sure that they are turning their and getting off of their iPads or phones before they should be going to bed as well. That'll help make sure that you can go to bed and your body signals you to turn off. And 2 hours generally. You want to do it 2 hours before you go to bed. All right. So last thing, stress management. So stress management, one of the biggest barriers people have to sleep is everything they carry to them in their bedroom before they go to bed. So stress management is all about making sure that you're able to leave this stuff behind before you hit your bedroom. And it's a lot of what insomnia ends up being problematic, because a lot of people wake up with the thoughts of what they need to get done. And it maybe they didn't dump enough of that before they decided to go to bed. So journaling is always a really good one. If you're doing the breathing technique, doing gratitude, like thinking as you're breathing about the things that you're really grateful for, so that you can take some of that stress away and not be thinking about the things that are, work or the million other things that could be going on, life. And then meditation is one of the biggest ones. Meditation is huge, and meditation is about visualizing something that you want to be able to focus on that's going to help you go to sleep. I actually do classes on meditation, but we don't have time to go into it too much. So for the sake of time today, we're just going to talk about meditation. And for the breathing, you can, just to let everybody know, you can actually go to YouTube, and there is what's called the 5 to 6 second breathing. And it will actually have the tone. So you can do those at home on your own and just listen to the YouTube, because it'll just have like a drumming sound every time you need to breathe in or breathe out. And journaling is just write down all your thoughts, let them go. And the biggest thing about meditation, I do a lot of led meditations. I do some quiet meditations. It's just about being able to get a little more calm. And it's about training your brain about what you should and shouldn't focus on. So doing it for 10 minutes before you go to bed allows you to leave the stress behind, because we shouldn't carry that all the time. It's one thing that humans do that animals don't do. Animals get in fight or flight, but they're out of it really quickly, because as soon as the threat's gone, they're fine. humans and people, what we do is we hold on to that when we should be letting it go. And I mean, you can always go back to it tomorrow. You can pick up that stress ball anytime you want to keep running with it, but we should be able to let it go at certain times. And then, so I actually have a 7-day sleep challenge. They're going to share this in the group if you guys are interested. And for this, I'm giving a $50 off. It's a $150 class. So that brings it down to a $100 class. And basically we dive deeper into all of this. And even though it's a 7-day challenge, you guys can drag it out, because I know sometimes daily things, you know, taking one habit and using it for a little while can be more beneficial. So do one every 3 days if once a day doesn't work for you. But there's PDF and videos, and I just walk you through all of this in a much little longer version.
Awesome. Thank you, Brooke.
Yeah, very welcome.
So we want
Trying to stop sharing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There we go.
So I'm very curious what's inside the course, because like I said, we've talked about this a few times now, and I know that you have much more information than we just heard here. And I feel like there's a lot to learn on this, something that we all do, and maybe don't treat with the reverence that it deserves.
I try to grab as many nuggets as I can because I literally can talk about this for hours. Shoving it into 21 minutes, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna bring the things that I think are really, the breathing and meditation are a huge thing in my life. And there's something that since I brought in my life, I always share those. But there's a lot of other things about sleep that can help make the best sleeping environment and help people.
We have a quick question.
Weighted blankets. You know, I don't do a lot on it's funny. I've been asked about beds, blankets, pillows. I will tell you, they do seem to be calming, but it's not something I've looked into or studied. I have one, I enjoy it, but I didn't actually, it's not something I don't have a bed preference. I don't have a pillow preference. I mean, some people do. My main thing is the habits that help to get you to them. So
I like that. Has your research found it a benefit or detriment for the body to lay still for 7 to 8 hours? Oh, interesting. I think this is a really good question, Chris. If the latter, would sleeping in intervals contribute to greater physical and spiritual well-being? For example, 4 to 6 hours at night and then 2 2-hour naps. This is something that's interesting to me too. We've talked about it.
You know, I don't know if I've gotten into, so they have some different studies that if you're not getting 7 to 8 hours at night, and can be beneficial, but they haven't gotten into whether breaking them up is better than the 7 to 8 hours. So I don't know specifically. I think it depends on the amount of activity you do. Like, what's the runner? He's an amazing runner. Usain Bolt. I mean, he said when he was in heavy training that he was sleeping more than 12 hours a day.
Wow.
And he says, and he gives a lot of benefit to what he did by the amount of sleep that he was required to get so that he could go as hard as he did.
That's
Most of
amazing.
us are not physically that active, so I don't think we all need that.
So when I studied Kabbalah, you study late at night, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you start your classes, and always they would tell us, you know, you have to figure out a way to get to bed early to still get 8 hours of sleep for spiritual work. Not the runner, not the physical work. The spiritual work requires just as much as contiguous sleep, not interrupted sleep, from what I've learned. But I'm not a sleep researcher.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, I think that second REM is big on the other physical things it does within our bodies. And if you're not getting more than 6 hours of sleep at night, this I could say about this particular question. So if you're not getting more than 6 hours, you're not usually hitting that, because a nap is not going to assist in that. So, and that second REM sleep is a big part of like dumping the garbage in our body, including cells that we want to be sloughed out and things like that. So it's really important. Yay.
Thanks so much, Brooke. This was very informative, and everyone, the link for the course is in the chat, as well as a link to book a discovery session with Brooke if you're curious about one-on-one coaching or what else she offers. That would be in your portal under day 4. So thank you so much. Tomorrow we're very excited
to have Gwen Payne talk to us about breath work, because this is going to be our 4th day where we're doing breathing, which is really awesome. And Gwen is a dear friend of ours, an incredible breathwork facilitator, and it kind of supplements what we've been talking about. I remind everybody, if you don't mind writing down for later in the retreat, what's the one word takeaway from today?
And feel free to put it in the chat as well. It's always fun to see where everyone's checking in and checking out for the day. And you said Gwen will be speaking about breath work. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing some, right?
Oh, we'll breathe.
Okay, good.
Good.
She's
We've
awesome.
both done breath work with her, and she's incredible. Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's, many of our guides have touched on breath work the last couple of days. It really is a tool that we always have available to us. So learning how to tap in and use it tomorrow with Gwen will be extra fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Sunday.
Thank you. Wait. Let's get off mute. Everybody off mute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.